Hello everyone. So soon after uploading my video on Platinum launches, I unlocked Platinum Handguns in Modern Warfare, and like I did with the launches video, I wanted to make this video to give a few tips for the handguns and some thoughts I have about getting Platinum on handguns. This video won't be as long as the launcher video, but if you want to skip to certain parts of it, I'll have each section timestamped in the description below. Each handgun can be summarised into one of two types of handguns. You have the heavier and slower firing handguns such as the 357 revolver and the 50 GS Desert Eagle that are built to be powerful and accurate at longer ranges. With these guns you're mainly going to be lining up one shot which will kill your enemies. And then you have the lightweight and faster firing handguns like the 1911, the M19 and the X16 that are meant to be used at close to mid ranges where you can just spam with them. The X16 is a semi-automatic pistol that fires 45 ACP bullets. It's a fairly well-rounded pistol that doesn't shine in one particular area and is just decent all around. It has a base ammo capacity of 13 bullets, which is the second best for handguns. If you play a lot of Warzone, you should be very familiar with this gun as it is the base gun that you landed with until Season 3 and you most likely have it fully leveled up already. The 1911 is also pretty balanced, having a slightly lower fire rate than the X16 but a bit more damage, and like the X16, it fires 45 ACP bullets. Although its ammo capacity is by far the worst out of the lightweight handguns with a base capacity of only 7 bullets. The M19 is a 9mm lightweight semi-automatic pistol that sacrifices damage and range for mobility, control and fire rate, all three of which are the best out of all the handguns, so it's meant to be used to just spam at close range. It's got a base ammo capacity of 17 rounds, which is by far the best out of all the handguns. The 357 is a double action revolver chambered in 357 Magnum. It has the worst ammo capacity of all the handguns with just 6 rounds, and it's especially bad considering you can't expand your ammo since it's a revolver and it doesn't have a magazine. It has the best accuracy and range of all the handguns, however its fire rate and mobility are the worst. Due to it being a double action revolver and the hammer has to come back and then forward, there is a delay from when you pull the trigger to when the gun fires, which can make this tricky to use. However, it is a one shot at all ranges in hardcore, which none of the previously mentioned pistols are. The 50 GS, better known as the Desert Eagle, is a semi-automatic handgun that fires 50 caliber ammunition. It has the most damage out of any of the handguns, however it also has a considerable amount of recoil. It has a base ammunition of 7 rounds, and like the 357, it's always going to be a one shot in hardcore modes unless you're shooting through something. As for what the best order is for the handguns, I'd recommend starting with the 1911 to familiarise yourself with the feel of the handguns, then use the X16 which is a bit more enjoyable, then move on to the 357 to familiarise yourself with the slower firing handguns, then move on to the Deagle, and finally finish out with the M19, which is probably the best handgun overall. This is the loadout you're going to want to be running when going for Platinum handguns. For your primary, this depends. If you're on a handgun that uses 9mm ammunition such as the M19 for example, and you have a corresponding 9mm SMG leveled up like the MP5 or the ISO, then you should run one of those SMGs as your primary with the fully loaded weapon perk on, so that you'll have the maximum ammo pool for your handgun and you most likely won't run out of ammo. And for the 45 ACP handguns like the X16 and the 1911, you can run the Striker 45 SMG. Unfortunately, in the case of the 357 and the Desert Eagle, I don't believe there are any primaries with the corresponding ammo, so you won't be able to use this trick with them, and I'd recommend running a riot shield as your primary instead. Then as your secondary, use whatever handgun you're on obviously, and for perks, for perk 1 I'd recommend using double time so attack sprint lasts longer, making you even more fast while moving around the map. For perk 2, Ghost is generally the best for staying off the radar, but if you're a more aggressive player you might want to run high alert instead, so you know when enemies are looking at you. And for perk 3, Battle Harden is the best so you're not as impacted by stuns and flashes. Now, as for attachments for each guns, I just throw up some screenshots and you can pause the video if you'd like to take a screenshot. Now as for the 357, this is different to the other guns. When you're going for headshots and long shots, I'd recommend using this class, which is built for accuracy. But in every other case, you should definitely be using this class that has the snake shot ammo attachment that basically makes this gun a pocket shotgun, and you can be much less accurate with it and still be able to one-shot people at surprising ranges in hardcore. So now I'm going to run through each camo talent for the handguns and give some tips. First of all, for handguns, you should exclusively be playing in hardcore modes. If you play in core, you're going to get outclassed by every other weapon because handguns are 3 to 4 shot kills. But in hardcore, handguns are mostly one shot kills. For the camo challenges, for spray paint, this is just getting killed so you don't really have to focus on this one and you can just do it in the background. For woodland, this is getting headshots so you're going to want to run the longest barrel to maximise bullet velocity and put an optic of your choice that you feel the most accurate with so you can line up that headshot more quickly. For digital, this is getting crouch kills and it's as simple as that. There's not a lot more I can say, just crouch more when you're picking corners. For Dragon, this is getting hipfire kills. The hipfire spread is already very tight with the handguns, but if you feel like you're not really hitting those hipfire shots, you can put on the 5mm laser for hipfire accuracy. Don't underestimate the ranges you can get hipfire kills with handguns though. You might think that if someone is far away you won't be able to kill them by hipfiring, but you'd be surprised at the distances you can hipfire. For Splinter, this is getting long shot kills, and for this you're going to want to run the longest barrel and the monolithic suppressor on your handgun to maximise that damage range, because a lot of the handguns aren't one shot kills at those long ranges even in hardcore. But long shots are actually not very far at all with the handguns. You can get long shots as close as 20 meters, so you don't even have to go out of your way to stretch the distance out by going in the middle of that head glitch and shoe house like you will with the primary weapons. For Topo, this is getting double kills, and I suppose the only advice I can give is to be more aggressive than you usually would so you can quickly get that second kill. For Tiger, this is getting kills with all attachments, and this is another camo that you don't have to focus on and you can do passively. Just make sure that you will have all 5 attachments on your handgun. For Stripes, this is getting kills shortly after reloading, and this is so much easier on the handguns compared to all the other guns in the game. Because with the Sleight of Hand weapon perk, the reload times on the handguns are pretty much instant, and you can just kill someone, reload, kill someone, reload. You don't even have to take cover while reloading before engaging in a gunfight. The reloads are so quick that with Sleight of Hand, you can literally reload mid gunfight. For Reptile, this is getting kills with no attachments. The handguns are still very good in hardcore even without the attachments, so you won't have trouble with this category. For Skulls, this is getting 3 kills without dying, and for this one I'd recommend playing a bit more cautious than you usually would and pay attention to the bottom text when you get a kill so you know how much of a kill streak you're on. Keep in mind that this challenge does stack, so for example if you get 9 kills without dying, it will count as 3 for this challenge. As for my personal thoughts on the handguns, I really enjoyed getting platinum on my handguns. It was such a breath of fresh air after the annoyance of having to go for launchers. Everything is just so much easier on the handguns. The amount of kills you have to get for each camo challenge is drastically reduced compared to the primaries, and this combined with the fact that the max level on the handguns is only around 35, I was getting gold for some of these handguns in like 2 or 3 hours. I loved how light and mobile they felt while moving around the map, but they could still one-shot in hardcore. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the handguns would be the class I had the most fun on. They're really fun to use and surprisingly viable in hardcore. They take very little time to do, and there's 5 of them that you have to do, which isn't too much to the point where it gets frustrating, but it also isn't too little to the point where it becomes unmemorable. As for my opinions on each gun, I started with the 1911 and I'd definitely say it was my least favourite gun. It only has 7 rounds, and it's not even like the D gun, the revolver, where you have a low amount of ammo but the shots you do hit are always one shot. I was getting a lot of hit marks with this at range. The recoil is also pretty distracting, and the rate of fire isn't as quick as the other lightweight pistols. I didn't hate it, but there was just nothing about it that I enjoyed more than the other handguns. All this being said though, it's probably my favourite looking handgun with the platinum camo on. The next gun I used was the X16, and it was much more consistent than the 1911. I like the iron sights, the mag capacity is great, the recoil was much more manageable than the 1911, and I already had a max level since I played so much Warzone, so it took me no time. After the X16 I used the 357, and this one was a bit of a weird one. I thought I'd like it, but the trigger delay made me miss so many shots that would have definitely hit if it wasn't there, and I really didn't like using it at the start. But then when you unlock the snake shot ammo attachment, it just turns into a pocket shotgun, and I barely had to aim in hardcore to get one shots with it. I even got a chopper gunner with it on shipment, it was that good. It also has by far the nicest iron sights out of all the handguns, and it's just a gorgeous looking gun. Also with the Kimbo snake shots, it was the only handgun that I felt comfortable using a normal core, where it's very good at close range. Then I moved on to the Deagle, and I had a very inconsistent experience with it. At times it felt clunky and awkward, and at other times it felt amazing. Although I definitely felt the most accurate with this gun, making the long shots and headshots a breeze. I enjoyed getting quick shots on people really fast, but I hated the iron sights on this gun. They just felt really intrusive, and I found it pretty hard to aim with it, so I was nearly always using an optic on this thing. Finally, I used the M19, and this would probably be my favourite handgun overall. It felt really light and mobile, the hipfire was really accurate with it, and the base magazine of 17 was incredible. And with the lightweight trigger, I was firing faster than some of the automatic guns in the game, and I could just spam shots at people up close. Although its range was pretty horrible, I got hit marks at ranges where I definitely wouldn't have with the other handguns. If I were to rank the guns in order from worst to best, it would probably go 1911 at the bottom, then the X16, then the Deagle, and at second best I'm going to put the 357 with Snake Shot, which I definitely enjoyed the most out of all the handguns, but I only enjoyed it after I unlocked Snake Shot, and before I unlocked it I wasn't liking the 357 at all, so I'm going to put the M19 on top for being consistently fun. Overall, getting platinums for the handguns was a pretty much perfect experience. They changed my playstyle up, and it felt a bit challenging, but not too challenging in a way that ruins your fun. I will say though that a part of me sort of wishes that they were slightly more challenging, because it sort of felt like I was flying through them. But I think I only feel that way because after getting platinum on the launchers and the riot shields, I've been conditioned to believe that every gun is just going to be really hard to get gold. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please leave it a like, and if you didn't, please leave it a dislike. If you have unlocked or are currently trying to unlock platinum handguns, please feel free to share your experience with them in the comments below. I'd be really interested to know what other people's favourite handguns were. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, if you like Modern Warfare, I am and will continue to be posting a lot of that, so subscribe if you're interested. My exams are over now and I relaxed for a week where I've done a lot of progress on Platinum ARs, so expect a Platinum Assault Rifle guide soon, but now I'm back making YouTube videos and I'm going to really try and get a video out every single week this summer, because I know it's definitely possible. Anyway, thanks again for watching this video and take care of yourselves.